We in it? Yes, we are in this bitch. Happy Sunday, y'all. This episode of Boruto, let me turn this fucking music down, bro. Fuck the music. Fuck the fucking music, bro. Cause this episode of Boruto, I'ma just tell y'all niggas right now. This has to be my favorite just because it's a few, not just the hands that was thrown, not just the animation, but like the little things, bro. Katasuke, the way he's acting, the way he's conducting his little experiments, they added a little bit more character to my mans. Before I even get into like the what the fuck was going through, I'm going this shit out of order, bro. Let me just do this shit out of order. Usually I go through like 1 through whatever the fuck, like a numerical order, based on what was popping into my head as the episode rolled out. But I just felt like I had to get some key points in this bitch. Now the first thing, this is my 9th point on the list, bruh. Did I say happy Sunday? I think I did, but let me just say that shit again. If I didn't, it deserves it twice. If I did, it deserves the shit twice, bruh. So let me get my shit together right quick. So the core of Kawaki and Boruto, this is my 9th point. I believe there's a true core between the two as far as personality traits go, because let's not forget, like a few episodes ago when we had Boruto versus Ao, which was another gas fight. But if we gonna compare the two, I mean, Boruto was throwing them hands, but come on, dog. He got some ways to go right now. As where we are right now, my nigga got to catch up to Kawaki already. And we just seen him throw them little baby hands, right? Like, this is our debut of Kawaki, and he got these amount of hands. Like, imagine being newly introduced to Kawaki, right? Like, you don't read no manga, you don't do nothing. You just, I'm an anime watcher, and I watched this shit, and Kawaki finally dropped. We don't know shit about Kawaki, and we just see him do all this crazy shit, bruh. But let me just get into like the core, because like, all right, a few episodes ago, right, we got Boruto who got into his fight with Ao. And in the very end of that fight, remember there was that point where Boruto low-key contemplated stabbing Ao in the motherfucking face with that screwdriver. However, he couldn't do it. He, removed himself from doing that. And even he was being kind of low-key instigated by Ao to do this shit. Like, kill me, little bitch. But he was like, no, I can't do that shit. And remember, Boruto has seen some shit in his young life. He has witnessed Mujino be murdered right before, he sacrificed himself. But Mujino died because of Ao. However, he still wasn't able to, finish him off like a fucking savage. Whereas Kawaki, at the end of this fight, we seen what the fuck he did to Goro, whatever the fuck you want to call that little nigga. And secondly, let's just talk about this fight, bro, because, well, let me get to that later. But we seen what the fuck Kawaki did, right? We seen he showed no mercy. And we've got a little bit of hints of his backstory. We seen, like, he came up from the fucking, like, a shitty place compared to the Hokage's son. But let's just not, we ain't gonna act like Boruto ain't went through some shit too. I mean, different backstories, different trauma, but goddamn, bruh. I believe the core, I believe just that little instance, that little hint that he has no fucking mercy may be how we get to the future of what we seen at the very first episode of Boruto, when we see them niggas at the face-off. And another point I wanted to get into before I get into like the whole fighting scene was, this kind of ties into like one of my theory videos, but I believe Kashin Koji had said something very interesting. And I hinted this has to tie in with Victor and his death and everything too, where he says, Kashin Koji that is, he says, at this point, let Kawaki go to the leaf because we are past the point of worrying about leaks. Ever since that crash happened, we've been past that point of worrying about leaks. Now, I say this ties in with Victor because Victor, he was very essential to the Kara organization. Although he got murked, we seen him get bodied. He was very essential because of the way he was able to aid the Kara in their funding through his business. We have a legit business and it funnels money to an organization that's underground. No one knows about. It's low key. That's how we're getting our experiment money between his brain, Amato's brain. We getting it popping underground. No one knows shit. Now, remove that guy, remove that CEO. That kind of shows signs of, hey, we ready to make a move. In my opinion, that just like, get rid of this motherfucker. The guy who's been helping you guys stay secretive, do these crazy experiments on the low. When he's gone, I just feel like certain people were ready to make that move. They were ready to be exposed. I don't know. I ain't gonna say shit else. I don't even know. Hey, fuck all that. I'm just saying, man. He was the money man. We don't need that nigga no more. And I guess we could get into this little point too, because it's a little bit more serious. But Katasuke's experiment, I liked how because in the manga, I liked how they further went into some shit where they could show you like an actual experiment he does in the anime, as opposed to in the manga where he just touches his body and he's kind of like, yo, this nigga built different. He ain't like you, Mitsuki. Mitsuki, you were like organically created in a lab. This man is a body who's been inorganically improved. Technology has been added to his body. I like how they showed the difference where they're actually getting a droplet of his blood or his DNA, whatever the fuck he did. I think they took blood from him, or a piece of hair or some shit, and they dropped it in a beaker, and it just showed how his body morphed. But let me get into my first point, bruh. All right, dog. So the animation, bro, they was just flexing just off angles. Like, I was just seconds in, I'm like, they doing different things. Because usually Boruto is kind of like a 2D show almost. It's just kind of like their scenes are usually facing the camera. There's the side profile in his booty for the most part. When you watch shit like this, come on, dog. Like, when you see shit like this, they were just flexing on us with the angles. Mitsuki's hair was blowing in the wind. Mitsuki looked good. Like, I know he didn't really do shit. He didn't do shit in this episode, but he was looking good, dog. You can't even front. Like, Mitsuki, this version of Mitsuki made me kind of remind myself, or it reminded me that, yo, dog, Mitsuki got hands. Like, we gonna see, like, hopefully we see him do some crazy shit. Like, Mitsuki needs his time to shine. Don't Neji my nigga Mitsuki, bro. Like, let my nigga shine. Because we seen he got the sage mode and all that shit. We see him, you know, he be acting. Well, we see that nigga get hit with rocks and shit too, but. And then Kawaki. Yeah, Kawaki. All right. Kawaki got way more hoes than Sasuke, and it was, I forget what the fuck was happening, but like something just, I don't know if his hair was blowing through the wind too, but at that point I was like, yeah, this nigga get more bitches than Sasuke, just off the rip. And there's like little details in Boruto's sweat, like he was sweating and shit. I forget what moment, because I watched this video a few minutes, I had to take a breather after watching this fucking episode, so I'm a little bit lost for like point of reference when it comes to Boruto and his sweat. But they had little, you know, little scenes where that nigga was sweating and shit. And then at this point, this is my second point, where we're seeing Delta and Kashin Koji, right, for the first time being animated like to this stature. And, you know, I was impressed with Delta, but hoes is hoes. But when we got to Kashin Koji, bruh, the drip god Kashin Koji, that's when I said to myself, can we have this shit forever? Like, why can't we not have this shit forever? Like, why can't they just drop the fucking bag? I know we're like 189 episodes in, and it would probably cost a whole lot of fucking money to do this shit for every single episode, even the ones that, you know, Naruto's taking his daughter out to fucking buy Kurama dolls and shit, but who gives a fuck, bro? Like, can we have this shit forever? Because if you compare this, like, oh my god, if we were animated like this every single time, you could be like, for the rest of the series, I feel like we could start, you know, talking shit about some Jujutsu Kaisen. I fuck with Jujutsu Kaisen, but I feel like we could start throwing shots. I feel like My Hero Academia, we could start throwing shots at these niggas, bruh. I'm just trying to give, Boruto is so underrated. And I just feel like we need to usher in a new gang of motherfuckers who just love this shit. I'm ready for that shit. I'm ready to be number one, bruh. But where we at? Point number 3. Now, bruh, when Kawaki turns his arm bits into fucking shoes, like the little shit he was doing, he did like a 360. Well, it was really like a 720 because the niggas had to flex the animation. Like, look at this boy spin around. But there was a point where like Garou shot out the beams and it chipped up his arm, and the nigga did a flip and he turned them bitches into shoes. The little things like that, dog. I'm rewatching this bitch after that. I'm rewatching it. I don't give a fuck. I'm rewatching this shit as soon as I'm done with it. I'm posting probably this shit gonna go up at like 10 o'clock. I don't give a fuck because I'm rewatching shit. Where we at, bruh? 4 minutes in. So this is my fourth point. So 4 minutes into this episode, dog, I hit pause. I texted my boy Omar, because, you know, he been on the, like, lately he been a little bit, ever since he got leaked about some shit in the future, he been bitter. He been bitter about the show. He's one of those dudes too. He likes to watch like the older gen characters, and he, for whatever reason, this nigga love Konohamaru. That nigga been ass. I never liked Konohamaru, even when he was a kid. I don't give a fuck if he fought one of the Pains. Fuck Konohamaru, bruh. I never liked Konohamaru. I never fucking liked Konohamaru. But he was one of them dudes. He's like, oh, I want to see more Shikamaru. He one of them niggas. But, you know, I texted that nigga 4 minutes into this episode, and I hit him with that shit talk, bruh. I was hitting him like, let me just read the text message. And the last part of the text message is really just like me poking fun, because I love Sasuke. So I hit my boy Omar. I was like, 4 minutes into this new episode of God, Sasuke ain't shit, bro. This Kawaki season, dog. I love Sasuke. I just, you know, I tease him a little bit. He knows. And then, all right, point 5. Now, I love when we get like martial arts series or shows, whatever the fuck, movies, and they mix a little bit of WWE shit like in it. Bro, this nigga Garou hit Kawaki with an elbow drop. And not only that, later on, he fucking grabs the nigga from the back, pause, and hits him with like a suplex. He suplexes that nigga a few times, then tosses him like at least, nigga, how many feet in the air? That had to be like 100 feet in the air. He had to be up there for a minute, bruh. He was up there. That nigga was skydiving. At that point, that nigga just sent that nigga skydiving, bruh. And then my 6th point. Now, imagine being Boruto, or anybody in Team 7, but more specifically Boruto, because he a young god. That's the young lord. That's the greatness. That's young greatness, bruh. But imagine being Boruto, and you're just watching this shit from the fucking sidelines. Ain't no fucking way I'm fighting none of these niggas if I'm seeing this before my eyes. I know I fought a Sasuke members. I know I fought gods. But nigga, this shit, like, I fought aliens, but I'm looking at these niggas like, what the fuck? I'm not jumping in. I hope I don't get tagged in for this fight, bruh. And I hope this nigga Kawaki don't, you know, try to fucking aim for me. I hope he don't come at me with that shit. Like, if I'm not fucking with these niggas, if I'm on the sidelines watching this fight. And on to my point 7, dog. Now, at this point, because Boruto, you know, he's like, oh, we gotta help Kawaki. This nigga Konohamaru pulled out them little chakra, he had, like, I think he uses a wind style over his fucking blades, kind of similar to Asuma. But at this point, I was like, okay, dog, because I'm like, dog, the animation was trying to make everybody look cool, bro. The animation, because the animation was beautiful, right? But, like, nigga, keep Konohamaru in the fucking dumpster, bro. Don't, because I was like, oh, okay, all of a sudden he got hands now because the animation good. Now he gonna have hands. Like, get the fuck out of here. But luckily, he was just defending Boruto. He had to have a conversation with my nigga, letting him know, like, bro, this shit is crazy. Like, I know you with me. I know I know you guys look up to me for whatever reason, bro, but this shit is S rank. And I know we've been getting lucky in the past. Like, y'all been saving my life, but I feel like if this shit goes south, bruh, it's a wrap. It's a fucking wrap, dog. So let's just stop. Let's just chill, bro. That's Konohamaru talking to his young niggas. And I'm glad they want that route, because if this nigga was throwing, like, if they was gonna add some shit, like, also, oh, Konohamaru can fight now, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, I wouldn't be mad, but it's like, come on, bro. If you're gonna have a nigga be in a dumpster forever, bro. Like, at least till we get to the time skip. Let the nigga be raw in the time skip. Let the nigga, you know, get humbled all fucking part 1, and then part 2, we could get that nigga throwing some hands. Now, point number 8, the highlight of Karma's power. Now, at this point, honestly, the whole episode kind of took a different tone as soon as Karma was activated, and I love that shit. Because it let you know how much power there is, how much power there is in the Karma seal itself. I should have started with this, because this is actual serious point, but fuck it, we in too deep, baby. We in too fucking deep, bro. This is my last point, actually, on this list. So, the highlight of Karma's power, it was just changed. Like, you hear the fucking music change. The Garou's character went from this fucking arrogant, like, fuck you, little boy, you're coming in and you're weak now, I'm gonna fuck you up, I'm taking you fucking back, you're gonna be begging for your life, you're gonna wish he was dead. That shit changes. As soon as fucking Karma's activated, he senses an amazing power. His arm is blown off, he's in fucking pain, he's trembling, He's sweating. He's firing off his fucking chakra cannons at a fucking crazy rate. Like, this motherfucker does not know what to do. His knees are shaking, bruh. He senses that power. Fucking Kawaki is walking. He's breaking the fucking ground as he walks. And I think we just gonna end that there, because the rest of the points I told y'all, I hit y'all with. And we gonna leave it at that, bruh. Happy fucking Sunday. This shit was some gas. Shout out to my nigga Shoex. This shit was some gas. I just had to say that shit. This shit was some fucking gas. Yeah, that's it, baby. Peace.